This podcast contains scenes of violence, adult language, and, if we did our jobs right, disturbing subject matter. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Emergency alert! Emergency alert! Emergency alert! Gate City's power grid has been compromised. Expect loss of gravity imminently. Please prepare for potential loss of atmosphere by putting on your vac suit. Gate City has provided emergency shuttles off station, and they can be found. We're sorry, it looks like you haven't yet upgraded to GC's Premium Emergency Escape Plan. Please enjoy this ad before the notice continues. Time running out. Death knocking at your door? Don't worry, we have you covered. With Morty Mort's patented Last Will and Testament app, you can make sure that the ones you love get the care they deserve, even if you're currently bleeding out. With the latest in drop-down menu technology, go quietly into that good night, knowing that those closest to you will be taken care of. Morty Mort's Last Will and Testament app, available wherever you get your apps. By following the directions on your GC Premium Emergency Escape app, only available to premium subscribers. Happy escaping.
Yeah.
So are we doing
brutal.
actual ads now? Where'd the Morty Mort thing go?
That was the app you used to do.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
That was your joke, Alex.
What?
Hello and welcome to The Stars Aren't All Right, episode 12 edition. This, in our very long history, is the longest a season has gone. We've had 2 seasons. This is 12 episodes. First season was 11 episodes. It is an historic day, and to honor that historic day, I would like to go around the table. I would like to introduce our cast, and they can then introduce the characters that they will be playing. But first, I would like to ask you all a question. Now, these aren't actually my questions, so it's actually probably going to be somewhat coherent. Catherine had a great idea of asking our patrons to give us some ideas for these questions that we do at the start of the episode. So, how many of your crewmates does your character think they could beat in Scrabble? And we'll start with Catherine.
Juno thinks she has some big words.
Does Juno think she has the best words?
Juno has the best words. Hi, I am Catherine. I play Juno Angevin, our resident preacher. And Juno does think that she has some pretty good words, and she does see Scrabble as an opportunity to sit down and to have a good conversation, a heart-to-heart, to open up emotionally. One directionally, she shall receive the emotional opening. She definitely thinks she can win, but only an unfounded confidence. Catherine knows she cannot win, but Catherine knows that because Catherine knows that she cannot win Scrabble. I am a terrible speller. I am an absolute dog shit speller. I have no confidence in me or any character I create in their Scrabble ability.
But Juno's convinced. I also imagine that Juno has used Scrabble during therapy with her clients and not let them win. Like, definitely absolutely destroyed them as much as she could.
Fuck uses Scrabble.
Juno, I just said.
How long are these therapy sessions?
Alex, they are as long as they need to be for your
Well, they're no longer than 7 letters.
Alrighty, thank you, Catherine. Tom.
Yeah, my name is Tom, and I play Alastar Bran. The situation is this. Alastar knows he would win at Scrabble, not because he knows the biggest words, but because he understands that to win at Scrabble, you just hoard very valuable letters and use them to make small words along the longer words, which prevents people from building words on top of your points and secures you more points for their efforts. Tom is also good at Scrabble.
It also makes sense that both Tom and Alastar play it tactically. They're like, no, this is a game and we can fucking
win
beat
this
the game. Yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you, Tom. Leah?
I am Leah, and I am playing Glade Walker. And just like Leah, Glade has never played Scrabble and never will play Scrabble.
But I imagine Glade thinks that she could beat everybody. I don't know what that is, but I think I could kick your ass at it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And not by using words.
Just actual violence. No one is prepared for the
I
strategy.
dare you,
you've
play
got.
one more letter.
Triple word score. Hell yeah. All right. Thank you, Leah. And Alex.
Hey, I'm Alex. I play Vexatia Talleyrand, a mid-level, severely obese administrator who was working in the locks, just kind of tallying beans and counting things, and who is now hopelessly floating through the gravity-less center of Gate Station going, oh no!
And how would Talia do against the crew in Scrabble?
Probably pretty good.
Great.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Full stop.
And how about Dr. Baron von Wurst?
I will actually be playing Dr. Baron von Wurst, and Dr. von Wurst, he is perhaps adequate at Scrabble. His words tend to be medium words for the German language, and so they are 17 or 18 letters long, not too long, you know?
Yeah, the compound German word for like playing Scrabble, which is just the words playing in Scrabble.
Scrabble-Schützen!
Scrabble-Schützen! No spaces. Incredible. Alrighty. Thank you, team, and thank you to our patrons for providing those questions. Let's do a big, hairy, sweaty recap of episode 11. In episode 11, the crew, after the Ford Windstar that they had been escaping from Usagicity in crashed, they took cover in an abandoned Oshkosh Befuck You franchise. They started to put together a plan to use the maps that Alastar had quote-unquote borrowed from Caspi to escape. Looking on those maps, they found out that the Oshkosh Befuck You stores had tunnels connecting them, obviously. They met an assistant manager whose name escaped me when I was writing this recap. I want to say like Debbie or...
I think it was Daisy.
Daisy. That was it. It was Daisy. I knew it was a D word. Daisy, who joined their group briefly and led them through the tunnels. Then, as they arrived at the Oshkosh Befuck You in the Nexus Market, got grabbed by one of the creatures ransacking Gate City and hauled off RIP. Then they met Barron, a rotund German doctor caricature who had hidden himself in a structurally sound pile of baby mannequins. Yep. Being right outside the tunnels they'd used to escape Gate City previously, they tried to use those, but found that security had been beefed up. So they elected to find another set of tunnels to get off the station. Before they could do so, however, they were discovered by several of the aforementioned creatures. Fortunately, the Scotsman showed up and saved their bums with a Z. He told them that now was the time. He'd been in contact with Party and Doug. Remember, Doug said he had to make some calls before hanging up on Glade, episode 10. Remember? Mm-hmm. I didn't just pull that out of my ass. I felt weirdly defensive writing this recap, apparently. So sorry about that. Anyway, and he had gathered who he could to make a run on the Angel that powered gate travel in Gate City. He also revealed that the Bones of Ymir, the Epoch-class capital vessel that had been orbiting the station, was likely going to glass Gate City. After just a scooch of debate, the team elected to help the Scotsman storm Gate City admin, where the Angel was being held, in an attempt to forestall the destruction of Gate City. Also, Glade and Juno kissed again, and Catherine immediately tried to game the system to get more sanity. But she didn't. I gave you guys more sanity, and then you were like, every time we kiss, do we get sanity? And then, anyway,
I only got one more.
You only got one more.
It wasn't that good of a kiss.
You
were a better kisser.
Yeah, I mean, Juno got more out of it than you did.
You did one of those where like you go full in on the tongue and then you realize it's not a tongue kiss.
You're like,
Negative sanity. Negative sanity.
It's just lips.
Happened to you often,
It's just lips.
Oh.
Anyway, on a meta note, Catherine had asked me after we were done recording what the likely survivability of this mission was, and I answered straight up coin toss, 50-50. On that note, let's begin. We find ourselves in the Nexus Market, just outside of Oshkosh, befuck you, having decided to storm the proverbial Bastille. What are we doing?
Glade looks at the Scotsman. All right, we're going to need vac suits and boots.
He nods. He says, right. I don't believe I had any extra, but he nods to a couple of his guys, and they go floating down into the Nexus Market, probably to loot you guys some vac suits and boots. He says, now, here's the thing. We stopped by Caspi's to try to get some maps of the city to aid in our siege, but they're all gone. Well, not all of them are gone, but the important ones on his restricted shelf, those ones are all gone. So, none of you'd happen to know what happened to them, would you?
Yeah, I know exactly what happened to him. I explicit knowledge of what happened to them, actually.
Right.
Yeah,
And he looks at you expectantly.
we have the maps. Yeah.
Right.
How do you think we've been navigating around during this panic time, you know?
And he kind of looks at you. Go ahead and make a psychology check if you wish.
That might actually work.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a success.
Oh, okay, great. He's dramatic. He knew you had the maps, and he was asking you a leading question. And it does tell you something about the Scotsman. But there's an element of like kind of theatricality to this guy, which Alastar can kind of infer what he wishes from that.
Glade rolls her eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
If he and his groupies want the maps, I'll go ahead and turn them over.
They start like looking them over, and then he says, the tunnels right behind this store would lead us directly to Gate City admin. Why aren't you gonna take these? Well, no, because you are headed to the docks, I assume.
Well, at the time, we thought we'd have to deal with GateSec and other parties that we didn't want to, so.
Yeah, we weren't really looking for a fight by using these maps. We were trying to avoid one to the best of our abilities.
Aye. All right. He kind of waves his fingers. A couple of his other guys go and float down that hallway. And he's kind of listening to his radio, and he says, and the door's locked. Right. We do have some plastic explosive, but I imagine if we blow that door, it's gonna draw a lot of attention to us.
Are we going to be making of the explosions?
Who are you again?
My name is Dr. Barron von Wurst. It is a pleasure to be making your acquaintance.
He just kind of looks you up and down.
Do you have any wounded individuals, perchance?
Says, this one, and he points to a guy at the end. Says, that's Toby. And Toby goes, hi!
Tobias, my friend, please come here.
He floats over to you.
And I'll examine him and do a first aid on him.
Okay, great. Make a first aid check.
That's a extreme success.
Okay. You can see it looks like Toby had a gash kind of along his stomach. Originally,
Oh my god, this is no good.
it looks like at first you're like, oh, maybe this is a knife, but the wound is a bit jagged. I'll let you decide this. Has Dr. Von Wurst experienced a lot of like wounds caused by animals?
Not animals, but maybe other things.
Okay.
Sex toys.
Sex toys, 100%. But wild sex toys. Undomesticated. You examine this wound, and as you're looking at it, again, your first thought is that it's a knife wound, but as you're looking at it, you're like, this actually looks more jagged. It is, kind of like in medical school, like if someone was like attacked by something with claws, right? This is kind of like the wound that you would see. And of course, your first thought is infection. So as you kind of get out your little alcohol wipes to try to like clean it, you notice that there are already thin traces of black kind of like spreading, looks like through Toby's veins, starting from the wound.
Tobias, my friend, this is a severe infection, and we will need to sterilize it immediately, but I am afraid I only have a limited number of alcohol swipes.
Oh.
A first for Alex's character.
Perhaps if I was, a consummate alcoholic and had several bottles of not malt liquor so that I could pour on it, things would be different.
Okay. If only my cousin was here.
Who is your cousin?
The hospital.
Oh my God.
Your cousin is a building?
Yeah, in a manner of speaking. Okay,
well, tell me
well,
what I am going to do. I am going to sterilize it the best I can in order to halt the spread of the infection.
Okay.
But after this, you must promise me that you will get it sterilized properly at a proper medical facility.
I will.
And he holds up however many fingers is in his Scout's Honor thing. 3.
He just gives me the finger.
He just flips you off. Yeah, in 2903, it's that Scout's Honor now. He just flips you off.
Great.
Catherine is holding up the shocker.
The shocker, yeah.
Good job, Catherine. Good job.
We've corrupted
Is that what
you.
that's called?
That's the shocker, yeah.
Yeah.
2 in the pink and 1 in the stink.
I did not know that.
Well, now you do.
Continue.
Anyway, this episode brought to you by Urban Dictionary.
Speaking of horrible infections.
As you are looking, you can kind of see, Toby is experiencing symptoms of infection. There is his body temperature seems to be elevated, and you begin sterilizing it as best you can. But the wound looks fresh enough that an infection should not be setting in already.
Can I roll occult on this?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fail.
Great. You don't.
A totally normal infection.
I mean,
nothing weird about this. I will not make the connection between the black tendrils in the veins and the black monsters running around.
I would say you can logically make that connection even having failed the occult roll. What exactly is happening here? Maybe beyond Dr. Von Verst, but the failure to my mind here just representing that you don't necessarily know why this might be happening, or you're not aware of any particular things that might cause it. But it is noteworthy from a medical point of view. This would definitely catch your interest, and it kind of makes you think of maybe infection, or maybe a toxin of some sort, like a venom.
Toby, this is something I would make a note of. It is worthy of that. If I had a notepad, I would take it out and I would write something on it, but I do not.
Thank you for telling me.
All I am saying is I understand you will go somewhere and do great violence upon other people. I cannot approve of this. However, if you survive that experience, you must come back to me and we will examine this further.
Okay. Thank you.
And he pulls down his shirt sheepishly. In the meantime, the other guys return with vac suits for everybody.
From the famous store, Vac Suits and Boots.
Vac suits and boots. Vac suits and boots.
Is there Vloob for the vac suits?
There is Vloob, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Is there an entirely circular vac suit for Dr. Von Verst?
There is, yeah. It's actually it's one of those hamster balls, essentially.
Wait, so it's entirely transparent and I just get to roll around
exactly.
in it? Fuck yes.
I love when Brian makes himself laugh.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not bad for me either.
It's actually the best for me when I do it myself.
It's pretty great. All right. So you guys suit up. So vac suits, worth noting, do provide 3 points of armor. However, when you go through that 3 points of armor, your vac suit is breached.
And we can't put our nanoweave armor outside of our...
You cannot now.
Okay. Juno has been standing back, and after Glade has told her to stay away from the Scotsmen, she feels this pull towards the Scotsmen
Fucking
to try
of course.
just to try
Really?
and clarify what's going on. And then she looks at Glade and stops and moves behind Glade.
Ooh. Glade, I'll leave that up to you as to whether you pick up any of that or not.
I roll for it.
Yeah, go for it. Roll the stat that you think is appropriate.
Probably not firearms.
Gun.
Right.
Let's be drive. Drive human. So drive auto.
That's a lot of 20s.
It's A20. So that's still a fail.
A fail. Okay. Yeah. Glade. Yeah. You just notice Juno kind of like sidling up behind you. The Scotsman, you can see him kind of like looking at the map. He's obviously, put together basically like a similar thing to what you guys had put together last time, which is just that you have like a couple of options as far as like where you go. But Glade, you specifically can tell that he's kind of two minds. Like he can't really figure out which course of action he wants to take. And he kind of signals to you, and then as an afterthought to Creed and to Alastar to come over. He's just like, I think it's a roll of the dice either way. Either we can take these tunnels here, we can blow them open, and then try to make our way as quickly as we can. And that'll probably be the fastest route, but that'll draw attention to ourselves. Or we can go above surface and try to move stealthily from building to building. Take our chances that way. Either way, I'm not sure which way we should go.
Well, we're a big party. Going above ground. There's not much we can control in terms of stealth.
He nods.
Create an explosion, although we purposely bring a lot of attention to ourselves. Perhaps we can make a plan or prepare for that tension.
Right, yeah. Is your vote then to blow the door, take the tunnel?
I would say so. If we can come up with a plan, depending on how many explosives we have, to try to take care of the unwanted attention that would happen after.
Just kind of nods. He looks to you, Alastar.
The way I see it, currently, unless you've been doing something on your way here, city admin doesn't really know that we're trying to make our way towards the Angel, yeah? We're just people trying to get from A to B while all these crazy things are running around. So, the longer we can go without them paying us any mind, the better. Otherwise, we then have two forces opposed to our movement within the city.
Aren't they gone, though, according to your information, Scotsman?
Most of the Navy has pulled back, but we should expect them to have left at least a skeleton force, whether it's Reapers or Nedleds, to protect the Angel, or put it down if necessary.
Well, if they're going to glass the city, they're planning to put it down anyway, so I don't think they'd invest too much.
Aye.
Whatever it is, we're running out of time. They're going to blow this place up. If, as a group, we feel it's safer to go through the tunnels, let's do that and pay the price.
I'd rather have a bottleneck of these things.
Creed nods his head in agreement. All right, let's get into position. They go to set some charges on the door. The Scotsman comes over to you, Glade. He says, I'm going to put a couple of my men to stay behind here, try to hold them for as long as possible. I spent most of my people overland, above surface. They should be able to make some noise outside of GC admin and pull some of the heat off us. But then he looks over at the two Jesuit non-Jesuits that are with Tenjin.
J&J.
This is a hate crime against
I
ginger.
know, right? Like, it's not a slur, but it feels like a slur.
But it's okay because Alex is a ginger.
How dare you say that?
Alex can be whatever we want him to be. He's barely real. Great.
You can bleep it out. And people will never know.
Well, people will never know.
Alex is a burp. Even better.
Yeah, you see him look towards the J&Js and says, I don't know what your relationship with those gents are, but we could use more of a rear guard.
Well, this is kind of going on. Juno, putting Glade in between her and the Scotsman, also hails over Tenjin.
Mm-hmm.
Tenjin, I know you are not proud of your past, and you shouldn't be. But it may provide us with some insight here. You and your compatriots have some insight into the Jesuit mindscape. Or you would so have me believe.
He just nods.
What do these gentlemen know? What can they provide?
I trained these men to fight. They can provide their lives if necessary.
And about the Jesuits? How involved were they?
These were not Jesuits.
Then why do we keep calling them Jesuit, not Jesuits?
He looks up.
It says not Jesuit right in the name.
He looks up to the sky and he says, I think that's God. God is doing that.
I see. You see,
God is a deceiver.
He's never referred to them as Jesuit, non-Jesuits, realistically.
Because he calls them
Because he calls them J&Js. I'm bleeping it out every time you say it. Just because that's funny to me now.
You see, Tenjin, sometimes God does speak to me. And so maybe I got confused in the naming of these fellows. I'm sorry.
He says, I trained these men from when they were children. They're loyal to me. Yes, I know. I know, Alex.
tiny little jets is what they were.
Happy.
Still bleeped.
Still bleeped, but not the ets.
Yeah. Good.
He says, they are loyal to me. What would you ask me of the Jesuits?
Your insight may become necessary. We are about to embark on I do believe it, perilous journey. And though every part of me has always wanted to survive and live amongst the richest of us, I do believe that this is the right thing to do. And I feel as though I have a lot of, perhaps, sins to answer for. And maybe this is my martyrship will work as a penance of sort.
Junebug.
Don't Junebug me.
You can see him kind of stop. It was like an involuntary thing
I know.
that escaped. He said, I'm sorry. Faith.
Don't faith me either. We know each other better than that, but we are still fighting.
You haven't given me a lot of room to operate in then, I guess.
Just don't talk.
But
This is my talking time.
Glade floats over.
Okay, great, yeah.
You two, you shush. Sorry.
The look Lee I just gave Catherine.
So, Tenjin, we need one of your men to stay behind as a rear guard.
He just nods.
Great.
This can be done.
Is there not something that we can use from inside of the children's profanity store to block our getaway? Perhaps there are big shelving units or something that we can use to block the door.
Dr. Von Verst holds up 2 baby mannequins.
Just like he did.
Tenjin looks at those and he goes, they do look structurally sound.
Dr. Von Verst puts them together and they like interlock like
Yeah.
bricks.
The Scotsman is just like, we can try to fortify it, but that takes time. I feel that once we blow the door, we're not going to have the time to set much up. And any fortification like that is just, it buys time, that's all.
Is there extra explosives to go off after? Try to barricade or take out whatever tries to come in?
He looks at one of the guys who he sent off, who's, very obviously kind of his demolitions guy. The guy does some like math in his head and he says, yeah, look, we blow the door, yeah, for sure. I got a little extra. I could probably blow the passageway as well, but, we don't know if we're going to have to blow any doors when we get to GCMN. And if we get there, we can't blow the door there. It's like, forget about it. You know what I'm saying?
Were you my taxi driver at some point?
I'm retired. Fuck your life.
So more of a lateral move then.
The romance between the two of you starts again. He's come to find you, Alastar.
This is our Hallmark movie.
I'm with the demolitions guy, previous taximan. Whatever explosives we have, we're going to need them for one reason or another when we get further in the tunnels. And again, every minute we wait talking about what we're doing is a minute we get closer to not having enough time to do what we need to do to get out of here.
Agreed. I'll leave 2 of my men behind. We'll leave one of the, is fine, I'll say it.
Alex
You
wasn't listening.
monster.
How dare you?
How dare you?
You crossed the
Dare you.
line.
And then, he says, all right, take up your positions.
Just for my understanding, we are taking the faith leader with the head injury and only enough fingers to perhaps count the number of operational brain cells she has left, and we are putting her into a combat situation.
No matter where the faith goes, she's going to be in a combat situation, Doc. Might as well be in a combat situation with a bunch of people rather than by herself.
Juno rolls up the arms of her like robes and goes, what did you just say to me? And starts to go at him with fists.
You were just like bopping around this large bubble with a doctor in it. That's all that's happening.
It's hamster wheel.
I have enough fingers to shoot you.
Oh.
I am just saying that in my medical opinion, you are not fit for combat at the moment.
Well, in my medical opinion, you're an asshole.
That is hurtful, and I do not think you are qualified to give a medical opinion.
I
at the
will show
moment.
you who's qualified.
The Scotsman goes, we're gonna detonate in 10, 9,
Oh, we better go. We can leave him
No,
too.
we still have 7 seconds to
7.
argue about this.
6,
You argue out there.
5,
Gonna make sure I'm in
4,
position.
Glade
3,
grabs Juno and covers her.
2, 1.
I'm so excited for the after effect exploding noise that you put in there. It's just going to be
An untethered hamster ball full of fat doctor just rockets down the hallway. Out into the air.
Sorry,
And
where
the
did this
next
hamster ball come from? I'm confused.
Oh, that's the vac
because the
suit.
German man is so rotund,
Oh.
he doesn't fit into a normal vac suit.
Yep, that's his.
So for clarification, we're in an oxygenated atmosphere, but in 0G.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to make sure I actually hold on to the hamster ball so that when the C4 goes off, it doesn't push it away.
For sure. So everyone anchors themselves to the ground. And it is worth noting too that like you guys will have had to organize yourself in kind of like a pattern that leaves the entrance to the hallway open. Thank you. The entrance to the hallway open. More bleeping. But shrapnel, which would have been, a risk even if there was gravity, but just comes firing out of the hallway and then spreads into the Nexus Market. You hear the cry of these creatures and of many, many leathery sets of wings.
Okay. Last time we went down this tunnel with lift.
I think it's a different tunnel.
No, it's the same.
Same
it is?
tunnel.
Okay.
Same entrance. Last time we went down this
We got a
tunnel.
limited set budget, man. We
Yeah, that's fair.
The limited brain cell budget.
It's theater of the mind, but we only got so many brain cells to spend on this.
We came across those real meat employees who were like grinding meat. Right?
Yeah.
And then there was can we at all come across that and use any of that grindy mean equipment to fuck some of these things up?
Who knows? We'll get there.
It's pretty far down the tunnel, but you can try. You can do whatever you want.
Catherine metadata games down the tunnel.
He just clips. He just clips through the walls.
Through the wall.
God damn it. Juno, stop turning on cheat mode.
One tunnel in Gate City, speed run any percentage. Go.
Catherine just cackles the whole way. Good.
Already. Hearing the screech of these creatures, there's this immediate flurry of kind of like practiced chaos as all of you just flood down the hallways. You can already, as you're running down this narrow hallway, short as it is, you can already hear the weapons outside start to light up. Could I get everyone to make a dex check for me, please.
It's a good doctor fails.
Doctor fails.
It doesn't matter what fucking dice I use. I'm using Alex's dice.
I
I got a
have
fucking
success.
94.
But I'm gonna say that I would 100% be like a Juno side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Juno has no idea an explosion went off. She's just
Juno's not even like running. She just falls over, standing in place. Hell yeah. Alastar.
Alastar spent 1 luck to succeed.
Damn. Okay. Finally, in like the last 2 episodes of the season, you're spending luck.
Must be nice
Hell
to
yeah.
have luck to
Leave
spend.
it for the season
Look.
finale.
Look, I'm frugal.
Juno's not frugal.
It also helps that, you know, all he does is win, 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 no matter what.
And his first character died.
Yeah, true. And he had a lot of luck, so...
We have 2 successes, 2 failures. So basically, and it's the failures have mapped very nicely onto those with active combat experience and those without. The Scotsman's men, Tenjin, the other J&J, they all kind of fall into formation very easily, even though like this is not something they rehearsed, and you guys as well, right? Like Alastar and Glade immediately kind of like just this instinctive sense of like where to put yourself in the order of people. But Juno and Barron, you guys both try to enter the hallway at the same time, and unfortunately the hamster ball can't quite fit the both of you. And so, Barron, you fall to the ground and you kind of like have now squished Juno like into the corner of the hallway.
It's this whole like bubble boy situation kind of going on where Juno's just like squished backwards against the ball.
Exactly, like her face just like, ugh.
Juno has never made that face. She is a lady.
Not yet. Glade hasn't had a chance. Anyway, so
Reference to that face is like a face smushed against a window.
Yeah.
So
Fair play. Continue.
Juno, you're kind of like squished, like on your back lying there, squished against this ball. You kind of like push a little bit out, get some breathing room, and you look, and through the like distorted plastic image, you can see one of the J&Js has a little submachine gun out. It's just, and then turns to his right, aims the gun up, and you see a dark shape come from his left and just tackle him to the ground. He starts screaming, and there's this like
Can I shoot him?
spray. You can try to shoot him. I'm gonna say if you succeed on this firearms check, we're going to have Barron make a highs or lows check to see if you shoot through his hamster ball.
I don't like him very much anyway.
But Alex is so attached to this character. He's been playing it for so long.
Is it worth it?
As a reminder, we're in Operation Get to the Angel.
Fine, I won't fucking shoot him.
I love how much of season 2 is people talking Catherine out of shooting.
I want to shoot everything.
Your time will come.
Your time will absolutely come.
The thing
very
I'm
shortly.
good at, I'm never good at, so I want to be good at other things.
can Dr. Von Verse try to close the door behind us?
There's no
There's no
doorway
door.
to this alleyway.
Oh, that's right.
And
They
you're
got
in
blown up.
You're in
You
a
haven't blown it
hamster
up
ball.
yet.
You have no arm dexterity. All you can do is one forward or backwards.
And stay away
Dr.
from
Von Verse try to
staircases.
Katamari Damacy everybody in the hallway to get us there quicker.
Yes. I will allow it, Catherine says in her most convincing Brian voice.
That was
That was-
uncanny. It was like stereo.
Brian, say you.
Oh my god. Conscience? No, I haven't heard from you in years. Never mind. You can. I kind of want. What's a fucked up skill to make you roll for this? Let's just keep it simple. Let's have you do another dex check for this.
That is a hard success.
Hard success.
Whoa.
Okay. You manage to push forward, your hamster ball kind of like collapsing in such a way that you kind of like get to your feet and you push forward. Juno is now, you are free, and you can see the unholy alliance of a mouth and a beak of this creature just kind of worrying at the J&J, and you can see just like globules of blood just like floating, cast into the air before it kind of like, he goes still, the submachine gun just kind of like floating in the air, and then it kind of gathers him up and goes to fly away. The Scotsman's men still fucking staying on top of it. Glade, You get Katamari Damachi very briefly as Barron rolls on past you, but I'm assuming you're going to kind of stay and make sure that Juno gets out.
Hundo.
Okay. Could I get both of you to make luck checks for me, please?
Don't make me do a luck check. My God.
Yeah, that's rude.
Dude, where's the positivity?
Fail.
Okay, great.
No.
If you would let me eat crackers or kiss to get luck, then maybe we wouldn't have this fucking problem.
Crackers while
It's
kissing.
Crackers for luck and kissing for sanity.
Exactly. We're
Read
eating
the Keeper's
crackers
Handbook.
while we kiss.
What if
Exactly.
you baby bird the crackers?
What if I
Wow,
eat the
guess-
cracker?
Crackers for luck is going to be a fucking hat I make. Crackers for luck, kissing for sanity.
All right. You can see Glade as you kind of get like Katamari Damachi out of the way. Barron rolls past you. You step forward. You help Juno to her feet, and then you hear of the creature. You see the creature land right in front of you, and just kind of its maw opens, and it's like the back of its throat just kind of nictating as it utters this call. And then it rushes at you.
Shotgun to the face.
We're gonna have you do opposed dex checks with this creature, actually, to see who's faster.
Bring it on, bitch. Hard success.
It got a regular success. You are faster. Go ahead and make your firearms check.
That's a fail.
That's a fail. You bring the shotgun up and you kind of like couch it to your shoulder, and as you raise it, there's this kind of expectation buried in your hindbrain as time kind of slows down that this is an animal. This is a creature. It should not kind of understand or what you're threatening it with. And as you raise the gun, you see it kind of like has these two like short, almost vestigial arms as it kind of like rolls up its wings behind its back. And while most of the digits on these arms are unrecognizably alien, you see a human finger still attached to the creature's hand. And there's this flicker of understanding that this creature used to be a human, and sees the shotgun and kind of flattens itself against the ground. As shotgun goes off, the pellets spread over top of it.
While this is going on, can Juno shoot it?
Make a dex check for me.
Juno falls over.
Oh, Juno, no.
It wasn't a critical fail.
No,
wasn't a
it was
critical fail.
70, but
Okay.
still.
All right. It is.
Juno gets stuck to the hamster ball that's rolling.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
just-
yeah.
That would be good.
She runs in front of it again and then gets stuck to it again.
It is going to make a fighting check against you. It's going to try to envelop you and bite you.
Oh, no. Fuck no.
You can choose to fight back or dodge.
Dodge.
Dodge. Okay.
Dodging.
Go ahead and make your dodge check.
Oh, that's a 2, baby.
Hot damn. Okay, it got a regular success. It sounds like, yeah, you got an extreme success. As its maw attempts to like close on you, you dodge back, and you can see the teeth in the mouth, what you had kind of assumed were like these like enamel covered things like they would be in us. You can see them kind of like writhing and like wiggling. And as the jaw kind of snaps shut, you manage to stay back. Juno, you failed, but now you can go. You gonna try to shoot it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fucking shoot it.
God fucking damn it. The
roll.
exact same. I got a fucking 70 again.
I will say you're close enough because you two are kind of like squished here. All three of you are now squished, and you're wielding a pistol. I'll give you a bonus dice on that.
It's gonna be
All right, let's go.
70 again.
Close
Let's
quarters.
go.
90, 90, 90.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
a 100. That's a 100. That's a 100.
It was a bonus dice.
Technical. So I only get to roll the 10 again, or do I get to roll both of them again?
No, you just
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was a bonus dice. So
oh
your
my
better
gosh.
result, like your first result was a fail, right?
My first result was a fail.
Yeah.
She
However,
rolls a 100.
no, wait, dude, you shut up. Don't
But
tell
it was
him.
it was
It's
a
a
bonus
100.
dice, so we would count.
The count the
We would
better
count
roll.
the better roll. The 100 doesn't get counted as a fumble. You just in this tight melee, you put the gun up against the creature, but your hand gets jostled. Gun goes off. We're now going to include some other people in this turn order, this kind of
whatever turn order. Let's go Alastar, and then we'll go Barron.
So I would have moved further down the hallway as soon as he successfully bowled himself a strike down the hallway.
Yep.
But turning back,
Your bag of sand was not the correct weight.
I run away, golden idol in hand. Could I turn around and see the kerfuffle happening in the hallway?
Absolutely. You would have heard several gunshots.
Perfect. So I've got my sword in one hand, I've got my pistol in the other. I'm just going to shoot at the thing. I'll put, seeing how it's close quarters and all that, I'm only going to take 2 shots.
I'll say this as well. Because you are a little bit further back, there will be an additional penalty dice applied to your shots because you are firing into like a melee, essentially.
Oh, then I'll only take 1 shot.
For sure.
Can't really get much worse than that. That's a fail, not a terrible fail, but a fail all the same.
Your gun goes off. You're aiming high to be safe, and unfortunately your shot just kind of like wings out. All right, Barron.
Yeah.
Would you like to do anything, or are you just still cannonballing down the hallway?
So I'm currently rolling away from the monster and towards Tenjin.
Yep.
I think Barron is going to look at Tenjin and go, "Yeah, master, kick me back into the fray. Kick me. Give me the boot."
As you wish. Let me make a fighting brawl check for Tenjin.
Your fucking characters.
Holy shit. It's a hard success.
Okay.
He's been kind of moving with like frailty, but as you're kind of like rolling towards him, you say that and you can see it's not anything fancy. He doesn't like go flying through the air or anything like that. He just kind of like rocks his hip back, and in this like deceptively smooth kick, it just connects with your hamster ball. And then just boom. And you just go barrel down the hallway. Could I get every one of you to make a dex check for me again?
Fuck off.
Like, this is not the time.
You had to pick a fucking hamster ball, you
This is a
rotunda
season
ass.
finale episode. It's a fail.
Fail.
I once again spend a single luck point to succeed.
Okay. Juno?
Oh! Juno finally doesn't fucking roll an insanely high, ridiculous bullshit roll and rolls a hard success.
Hard success. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Glade.
I hate you.
I'm getting you into melee
No,
range.
wait.
I'm already in melee range.
No, extreme success.
Hell yeah.
Extreme success.
Okay.
I just can't do math.
That's fine. Neither can I. It's all good. You get bowled over by this German hamster wheel doctor nonsense. However,
What the fuck are we doing?
our best.
I'm having a great
No,
time.
I don't
Fucking
believe
best.
that.
You get bowled over. However, Alastar and Juno, Alastar, you managed to like kind of keep your feet because you were close enough that you could kind of like part of your brain heard this exchange and you just flattened yourself against the wall. Juno, in what would have been objectively the wrong thing to do in a melee fight with a monster, you like heard some commotion behind you and fully turned your back, which would have been a bad choice, except that in this case, it gave you enough reaction time to fully flatten yourself against the wall. You see Glade just get absolutely like face planted against the ground. I'm not going to have you roll any damage. But this creature rolled a 95 on its dex check. The hamster ball collides with it and sends it like flying out. It kind of like hits the ground, tumbles, and then like smashes against the guardrail of this level of the Nexus Market. Juno, because you got an extreme success, your gun hand was like already basically lined up on it. Go ahead and make a firearms check with a bonus dice. If you want to shoot at it.
Celia, what were you worried about?
I hate you.
Catherine, what was that? Catherine?
With the bonus dice?
Oh my
No,
god.
with the bonus dice?
You get a bonus dice.
Okay.
Was it the 100?
Okay.
That was a
No.
99.
Roll the bonus dice.
Roll the bonus
Come on.
dice.
I don't understand what god I pissed off in my entire life.
Soul.
Soul.
Hey, Yay! Okay, that's a success.
Okay.
90.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead and roll your damage, please.
Bad.
That's 8 damage.
Okay. You line your weapon up against it. Shoot. Your bullet kind of like rips through its, I guess kind of its thorax. And you can see it kind of like steady itself for a moment, and it's twitching, but it seems to have been stunned. Failed its con check. It is...
Small graces.
Yeah. So, hell yeah. This creature is stunned. You guys all get to your feet. You can see 2 of the Scotsman's men fall back to the entrance of the hallway, still shooting. One of his guns goes empty, flicks the magazine out into 0G. Shell casings and smoke are floating through the hallway, bouncing idly off of it. You guys all get to your feet. You make your way down the staircase. You can see the Scotsman himself was kind of holding a rearguard action as you kind of come down the staircase into this tunnel. Moves his gun so you're not lasing him, just like waves him past. You guys have now made it into the tunnel. You continue running for like... Rolling. Air raid version. That's a Limp Bizkit reference, if anyone was wondering. Rolling. What? Anyway. We're really keeping the tension this episode. You guys keep rolling down the hallway for like several minutes. Could I get everyone to make a luck check for me, please?
Fail.
Oh my god.
Fail. That makes sense.
Oh my god.
I got a 13 and I still fail.
This is a good doctor
God.
gets a 5, which is a super duper success.
Okay,
That
super
would
duper
be
success.
the only way I would succeed.
It's
You wanna
just
trade?
a success for me.
2 successes, 2 failures. Okay.
But like super duper success should count as 3 successes.
Should it?
Yeah.
Yes.
See if we finally agree on sets.
Fuck you.
Solid argument from the doctor.
You know what? We agree. I'm using the royal we. I don't know. Okay. You guys do not hear immediate sounds of pursuit. As you guys are running down the hallway, you start to finally slow down, catch your breath. There are little flashes. At first you think you're maybe kind of like imagining it, you're blinking too fast, and it's just like after images of light from everyone's flashlights. You see flashes of human figures appearing and disappearing. Finally, one appears right beside you, Glade. It's just a man, bloody red ruins where his eyes should be. Just kind of holds his hands up to you pleadingly and then screams and then disappears. Alastar and Barron, could you make sanity checks for me, please?
Good.
You guys have already seen this, so you don't
Yes.
have to yet.
Doctor succeeds.
Doctor succeeds. Okay. you can
Alastar fails.
Okay. Alastar, could you roll a d4 for me, please? And Barron, you take 1 point of sanity damage.
It's a 3.
You take 3 points of sanity damage. For Glade and Juno, when you guys came down this tunnel before, you saw the woman, right? And it was noteworthy. There was just this one woman that you saw, and this kind of apparition seemed to like intermittently appear and then disappear. Now, as you're looking around, you can see the Scotsman and his men have all gone pale. There are dozens flickering, almost like light bulbs.
Of the same woman or
No.
of different people?
A bunch of different people.
Juno freaks out. When she originally saw that woman, she panicked. She knew that there were people that she had been ignoring, and she wanted to help. We are doing something for you. Help us! Help us, so we can release or put you to rest. I am sorry. We didn't do more, but help us.
Make a power check for me, please.
I am using Tom's dice. That's a fail.
A fail. As you make this claim that you're trying to help them, you plead with them for help. All of a sudden, like moths to a flame, you are surrounded by these apparitions, all with bloody red ruins where their eyes should be, screaming before it's cut off, their hands outstretched to you.
I reach out to them.
Okay?
These are souls I should have been taking care of. And now I know, Juno knows that it's time to take care of them. As scared as she is, she will lean in.
Do the rest of us see this?
Yes, absolutely.
Glade, do something?
For sure.
See what's going on. If Juno's like reaching out her hands in response, Glade grabs both her wrists, like pulls her in, and like her head beside hers says, "They're not listening. They're only speaking."
But we can help them. I can help them. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of her anymore.
Glade buries Juno's head into her shoulder.
I'm not afraid anymore.
After a moment or two, the apparitions stop.
Glade releases Juno. We need to keep moving. We can mourn later.
I just want to see her again. I just want to tell her that I understand, and I will do everything I can to right my wrongs. That's what we're doing, right? Now, we are finding an angel to excise them from whatever hell they're being kept in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Can Dr. Von Verst roll to see if he understands what these are and if there's any medical help that can help them at this point?
This wouldn't be a medical thing.
Can you roll occult to see if he understands what they are?
Absolutely be occult, for sure.
That is a success.
On a success, Dr. Von Verst would identify that, there are many who believe that ghosts or these kind of apparitions are merely the psychic imprints of people who died horrifically, who went through something truly traumatic, and it kind of imprinted their consciousness on their surroundings. And so what you're seeing is essentially, to the doctor's knowledge, it's essentially an echo of what a person once was.
And no information on a success about how to placate them or help them.
It will vary from person to person, like from shade to shade. Most of the time, a lot of the knowledge about that is you have to kind of know the individual shade and know like what they went through and kind of how to appeal to them. With the sheer amount of apparitions, there's not really anything practical, except that salt is a way to keep these apparitions away.
Okay, the doctor is just going to take out his data pad and start making notes. Patient 1, 4 years old, anocular, no eyes.
Right.
Screaming. Patient 2, 35-year-old male presenting, anocular, screaming. And go that as he goes down.
As you are making notes, one appears before you, Dr. Von Verst.
Grazie.
It looks at you, and there's, even without eyes, there's an expression of just despair on its face.
Do you have a message for me?
And it kind of reaches out its hand towards you.
He inspects the hand and grabs it gently between both of his, just kind of sandwiches it and shakes it a little bit and goes, "I will have to come back for you, I'm afraid."
As you kind of roll your hamster ball forward.
Yeah, he actually grabs it in one hand because the two hands do not meet. Like, he cannot bring them both to the same point.
The hand stays in the same spot, but passes through the outer wall of your hamster ball. And so then you close your hands over top of it. And maybe the doctor is expecting it to be cold, or maybe he's expecting his hands to pass right through it, but it's clammy, but it feels physical. And as you say that, go ahead and make either a power or a persuade check for me, please.
I'm going to spend the luck to make that a success on the power.
Gotcha. As you say that, it just shoulders kind of buck, heaves a sob, and then there's this flood of warmth against your palms, and then it doesn't just disappear, it gently kind of fades.
Doctor notes in his data pad, "Clammy? Also fever, perhaps.
Great.
Also fading out of existence."
You continue making your way down the hallway.
I'd just like to say, when Glade said that to Juno, Alastar would have given her a pretty pointed look, just to himself, that we're going to go, find an angel to fix all these people. Just would have given a very knowing, pointed look.
Right.
But otherwise kept to himself throughout this whole thing.
Sure. Creed, kind of comes up to you and opens his mouth as if he's about to say something, and then it's probably worth noting you thought you watched Creed die, and he didn't look as freaked out as he does right now.
You doing all right, old man?
He just opens and closes his mouth, and he looks like he's about to nod instinctively, and then he just kind of meets your eyes and just slowly shakes his head. But then he just shrugs, hitches his gun up, turns around, and continues following the Scotsman and his troops.
I'll just nod. I'll bring up the rear guard.
Alrighty. We make our way down the tunnel. We come to an intersection. This is very familiar to Glade and Juno. You see the plastic sheeting that covers the entrance to the room where you know the corpses were processed. There's the path that you'd taken before, which leads to the dockyards. And then the other direction, the path you didn't take, leads to GC admin.
Oh, this is... Okay, we have how many people with us? So we have the Scotsman and his cronies.
So that's 9.
You're good at math.
I'm not, but you have a total of 11 people with you.
Wait, the Scotsman and his cronies are 9. We're 4.
Yeah, you're wrong. You're not good at math.
No, 11 people plus you guys. Not counting you guys.
Okay, so we have Tenjin, GNG,
J&J.
J&J. I did right, J&J. We have the Scotsman, 3, and then 9 cronies.
8 cronies. Sorry, 9 was the Scotsman's entire party, counting the Scotsman himself, because he left 2 of his men behind.
I will erase a crony. Thank you.
We can argue with Brian as much as we want about this and be like, no, they died.
Yeah, you see one guy just has an aneurysm. I'm like, yeah, because fuck you. You guys did that.
Okay, so we have 9 and 10, 11, and then us. And Doug, we do not have with us.
Doug is not with you.
In our spirits.
Okay, so we have 16 people. 15 people.
15 people total.
I'm also bad.
We have people.
Okay, there is a reason to this. There is a method to my madness.
I assume.
So we have the dockyards and we have GC.
Going to GC admin. This is the fork.
This is the last time to get off the bus.
It is.
Juno's going to GC admin. Unless Glade persuades her otherwise.
Fuck. Yeah. Glade sees the choices, and honestly, everything in her wants to just duck and run, wants to head to the docks, grab a ship, and fucking get out of there. What's Juno doing?
Juno is looking at Glade intently and also trying to move as close to Tenjin as possible to get a moment to be able to talk to him without the Scotsman or any of his cronies hearing. If Glade hears, that's fine. But
let's say you probably have that moment now as the Scotsman and his men start filing down the hallway towards GC admin.
Tenjin, do you see any other way? Any way that this will shake out other than total and unbelievable destruction? Those people, did you see them?
I did.
Do you understand? Do you understand that those people are our failure?
Mine more than yours.
Mine more than yours? Don't be so self-fucking righteous.
As you say that, you realize, remember what Michael had said about why he created the church, and the Jesuits were the main delivery system of the people to the angels.
So you knew? You knew this whole time?
I didn't know why we were bringing them.
You didn't know why, but you knew people were dying.
He just nods. If you look at him, and there's a moment where you might expect tears, but you can see there's just this like hollowed out emptiness. The guilt has eaten any sort of intense emotion that he might feel at this. There's just a man like hollowed out by guilt.
I had always wondered why you were so patient. So patient with me. And I guess now I know that it was guilt.
It wasn't.
We can argue about this at length later, presuming that we don't all die. No matter. Do you see any of us getting out of this alive? Knowing what you know?
There is a chance. Slim. But there is a chance.
Tenjin, you have to promise me that you get her out alive. She will murder you if you do not keep me alive. I know that.
He looks over at you, Glade. He just kind of nods. He says, protecting you has always been my priority.
She is a part of that contract now.
And he reaches his hand slightly towards you, but then thinks better of it and pulls it back. And he says, not just your life, Juno, but your heart.
This is a funny time to say that you will protect my heart.
Does Glade hear this, or?
I mean, you're there.
Make a listen check.
Success.
Okay.
Glade hears it all, but is just staring off towards the direction of the docks.
Tension says, you do not have to do this, Juno. I will go, and I will fight.
Don't be a martyr now.
You're going to lecture me on martyrdom. You who would attempt to wash away your own guilt, your own blood. Let me assure you, Juno, it doesn't work.
Tenjin sees Juno smile for the first time in his presence for a bit here. You know what? Maybe I am growing, but that is a fair point. If you cannot ensure the safety of me and my companion, then you must ensure the safety of as many people on this station and throughout this galaxy as possible.
His back kind of straightens. He just nods, and then he moves to go down the tunnels towards GC admin.
Juno looks at Glade with a, I bet you heard that look, a big sigh, and walks to follow Glade. Just tucks in behind Glade.
And where's Glade going?
Has everyone started moving down the GCI hallway?
Tenjin and his J&J.
It's Alastar.
Yeah, Alastar, what are you doing?
Pointedly waiting to see what these two are doing.
Creed kind of sidles up to you. Last chance to get off the bus, kid.
To what end, old man?
You can see him like shaken up, and he's like, I don't know. To live?
Spending years aboard a ship going nowhere is not living. I would know. Look, you've had your run of the mill. Take care of the girls if they leave. Yeah. The only people I want to see, if I don't make sure that this gate works, will be dead by the time I get there. Moreover, by the time I get there, if this doesn't work, I won't be the person I want to be when I got home, you know?
Kind of sighs, just tilts his head slightly. Says, kid, we're never the people we thought we would be when we get back from this shit. There's no getting back from this shit. But I'm not gonna let you get in a gunfight without me watching your back. He kind of shakes his head, straightens his back, and then nods at you. Dr. Von Verst.
Whereas the large bruiser of a man is pointedly waiting at the crossroads, the good doctor is most decidedly unpointedly waiting at the crossroads. And is just waiting to see what happens with everyone else.
Okay. And so that brings us once again to Glade.
Would Glade have heard what Alastar was talking to Creed?
Feels like a listen check is in order. I'll give you a bonus dice on it, though.
Success.
Okay, and you heard it.
Juno had last said that she kind of tucked herself behind Glade, but slightly turns around and touches Juno's face and says, come on. And she grabs her hand and leads her down the GCI tunnel.
The die is cast. We make our way down the GC admin tunnel. Okay, it takes a while. We're probably going to say about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. This tunnel does not go 100% in a straight line right to GC admin. It has to kind of weave through all of the different, subsystems of the station itself. And then this tunnel actually goes right alongside the open void that is the gate at the center of Gate City.
You know what Glade does the whole time?
I would love for you to tell me what Glade does the whole time.
Holds Juno's hand.
You gave me such a little shit-eating grin for that. Like, you're like, you know what Glade does? It's like, I was playing with Alex for too long. All right, great. You two, hand in hand,
Yeah.
each gain 1 sanity.
Hot damn!
I'm a sucker
Kissing
for
and
love.
hand holding.
Kissing and hand holding.
Physical affection gives sanity.
I mean,
But only for us. Oh shit, I put a hole through my paper.
through your paper, not your pooper. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
It's
great.
okay. I'll fix it for you. More sanity?
Every time. Every time I
I didn't used to believe in the gay agenda. This kind of propaganda, I'm just not so sure anymore.
That's it. We're here to turn you gay, listeners.
We've always kissed for sanity, really.
That's the reason
Yeah.
most humans kiss, historically, I think. Anyway,
Anyways.
we make our way down this tunnel. Eventually, after, just about an hour of that incredibly tense boredom, Glade and Juno, your hands alternately sweaty and numb from how tight you find yourself gripping each other's hands. Eventually, there is noteworthy stop in like a column of people that you guys are traveling in, and you see some shuffling as the Scotsman comes back. He says, "Right, there seems to be 2 Reapers and a Nedled holding the door to GC admin. If you've got 'em, now's the time to smoke 'em."
The doctor holds a finger up and then realizes it's not the time.
Scotsman kind of looks at you and says, "No, go on."
That's just not very good for you.
Scotsman just nods and he says, "You remind me of my friend, the hospital. But to the rest of ya, are you ready?"
Juno readies her pistol. Sorry, we're in vac suits, but we're... Sorry, he's in a vac suit, but we're not in...
The vac suits were preventative. They're just in case the station loses atmosphere.
Okay. I thought none of us were in vac suits and he was just
in
in
a
his
hamster ball for no fucking reason. Yeah, fair guess. Or fair question.
So we have vac suit, then armor, and then squishy body.
And then blood, yes.
Okay.
Blood and
And
flesh.
mag boots.
And mag boots, yeah.
And mag boots. Okay.
And the doctor beckoned to Alastar. You're not hurt, right?
No.
Okay. And Glade's not hurt?
False.
Okay. Is she visibly hurt?
No.
Okay. The doctor's going to beckon to Juno and to our friend Tobiathy, who is still around.
Toby is near the back, and he kind of like looks to the Scotsman, who just kind of shrugs and gestures him over.
Okay. Is Juno coming over?
Sure.
Glade follows in front of her.
Wait.
The maths.
Mark that one. Mark that clip. That's good. That's good.
What?
We are none of us good at math. Okay,
Love
you
it.
beckon them over.
Yeah, so just real quick, I understand that this may be a dangerous situation and you two are already not 100%. And so I have a little medical aid for you if you would like. And he holds it 2 stim packs in 2 hands.
All right.
This is entirely voluntary.
What do you mean I'm not 100%?
Show me how many % you are on your fingers.
It looks like a maximum of 80.
But where did this... Oh, God. And finally, after hours, Juno finally comes out of all of her shock, realizing that she's lost her fingers.
Right, and so this is a normal process by which the body copes with the loss of a limb, even a minor one, and we need to just delay that for another 45 minutes.
But I can feel them. I know that they were there.
Glade grabs your hand
But it's so squishy.
and she looks at you.
Yes.
I have enough for the both of us.
Fingers?
It's a twice hearing.
I will take the sim back, thank you.
Okay. Madam the Masked Lady, would you care to apply it to your friend?
Are you going to put them in now?
Whenever it is the proper time.
Okay.
And same thing, just hands it to Tobias.
I have stim packs.
Oh, excellent. Well, she can have one of yours then, and I can replenish your supplies if you would like.
Just glares at you.
I'm sensing some unwarranted hostility.
Oh, it's warranted.
Oh, okay then. Tobias.
Tobias just grabs the stim pack and he says,
Oh, if we survive the firefight, it's really fun to take these and then fuck.
and then he puts it in his pocket and he goes away to rejoin the column.
This is how you get permanent erectile dysfunction?
He's gone.
Getting a sense Toby's infected in more than one way, dog.
Madam the Masked Lady.
Glade.
Glade. Our friend Tobias. He is infected.
He's not our friend.
Okay. Our acquaintance Tobias, he is infected with something.
Why do you keep saying our?
Because you know him and I know him, and therefore he has both of our acquaintances.
Glade just cementing the black cat energy.
Anyways, you look like a lady of action, and so he may turn. I fear he may turn
What
into.
makes you think I'm a lady?
You're drunk with power.
She's also drunk with scotch.
Also,
I picked up the queer vibes between you and the faith.
do what you ignore her. She is grumpy, and I want to hear what you have to say.
The stim pack goes in the thigh. That is
Good.
all.
But what are you saying about my man? You're saying he's infected with something.
He has black veins emanating from a wound which looks like it was caused by some type of extra normal phenomena.
Extra normal.
Like something with a beak in the center of its body that doesn't obey the laws of physics.
He looks to you, Glade, the Scotsman, and he just says, when the shooting starts, put two in the back of Toby's head.
Yes, this is not necessary.
Glade, keeping eye contact with the Scotsman, just nods her head.
He nods back. He says, we're gonna start the music. Be ready.
Just as a word, if you do this, I will feel as though you have betrayed my trust.
The Scotsman just walks away.
So does Glade.
Juno looks
And
at
grabs
Barron.
Juno to bring with her.
As Juno is being hauled away, she looks at Barron just wide-eyed, going as if to say, we can't lose another one.
Barron goes, cheers, and waves with 3 fingers.
But you have all 5 that you choose to use. And Juno puts down 2 of her remaining fingers, giving you only the middle one.
All right.
And then readies her gun.
For no particular reason,
No.
may I get everyone's decks, please?
You should know by now.
I definitely
you never
should.
Listen
Yeah.
to me.
No, wait.
Has our index
actually-
should have increased by now? By like successes?
No.
You know how like skills increase.
You have to
When
survive.
you have successes. I have survived many things.
You have to survive the whole adventure.
Oh, what's the whole adventure?
I will say this.
Yes.
Everyone go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Okay.
I didn't know the hospital was here.
Except for you, Barron. Sorry.
Yeah, fuck you, Alex.
You rolled a 2?
Boo.
Yes.
Gain 2 luck.
Yay.
1. Gain 1 luck.
I get 2 luck back.
There you go.
I have 7 luck.
Okay. I don't know Barron's dex.
65.
65. Okay.
What?
What?
He's a speedy little cannonball.
I love this man.
This is much better than the last one.
He reminds me of Albert Preem. Randomly had 85 decks.
Albert Pre was born at the very, very first level of tariffs on Canada.
Yeah.
and in case anybody didn't realize, was the Alberta Premium Whiskey.
Albert Prim is a beautiful soul who's entirely original and isn't stolen from any name or trademarked company.
Almost everyone from that one shot was stolen from another IP.
It's true. Yeah, it's so true.
All right. You guys get into position, and there is this kind of tense moment of silence. And then
Crunch.
You shut the fuck up. Continue, Brian. I'll fight him.
who wants to call highs or lows?
Highs.
Great. This is
Now
going
you
to
know.
determine whether the Reapers and the Nedled detected your party on the way in.
Cool.
Oh.
You've declared highs. I'm rolling a d20.
Okay.
I love that.
Actually, why don't you roll the d20?
No.
I love that even more.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Fuck you, Brian.
She's a low roller.
It's 8.
That's
Hell
low.
yeah.
That's famously low.
On what dice?
All of them.
D20?
Yeah, that's low.
Yeah.
You guys all crouch. Moment of silence. And then all of a sudden, there is this cacophonous explosion of gunfire. And then all of a sudden you hear this explosion in the hallway. The hallway fills with light. Could I get everyone to make a dex check for me, please?
Oh no.
It's Juno. Of course she fails.
Fail for Juno.
We're good.
Fails.
Von Verst fails. Fail for Von Verst.
Extreme success.
It's extreme success.
Success.
She has us both
And
covered.
success. I'll tell you what. If Glade is willing to take 1 damage, she can basically like shield Juno from taking the D3 of damage.
Played well.
So go ahead and roll a D3 Von Verst.
How many D3?
1 D3.
I said 8.
The doctor takes 3 damage, so his vac suit is breached.
Your bubble
As the flash goes.
Bubble pops.
The bubble
I took that stim pack.
hamster's loose.
He's fast too.
So the hamster ball breaches as shrapnel comes ripping down the corridor. You can see Juno frozen in position, Glade, and you just grab her and flatten her against the wall, not quite fast enough as like 2 of these shards just kind of hit your body, and you can see it looks like it almost has punctured both of your vac suits, but fortunately they have held up, at least according to quick inspection. You all manage to kind of like keep your general area, like keep your, what the fuck am I saying right now? You manage
We're keeping our general area.
general
area. You manage to maintain your position. You are not blasted back down the hallway by this blast. And as you guys kind of like hold your position with your mag boots, limbs and bits of burned and broken firearms come towards you. You realize you guys have immediately lost a significant portion of the strike team.
Significant?
How many?
You are unable to tell at this time. Are you guys rushing forward?
I'm not
Rushing?
gonna rush forwards, but I'm gonna do something in retaliation.
Great. What are you doing?
I'm gonna grenade.
Hell yeah. Okay. You go to throw the grenade. Go ahead and make a throw check for me, please. Alastar, what's your dex? Again, sorry.
60.
Okay.
That's a fail.
Oh.
A fail. Okay. Wasn't a critical fail, I'm assuming.
No.
Okay. You pull the pin on the grenade and you kind of ding it down the hallway. There's this explosion. Could I get everyone once again to make another dex check for me, please? There is no gravity in this hallway.
Oh, there's not?
The gravity's off in the station.
I forgot about that.
The
Not gonna lie.
doctor takes another blast of shrapnel.
Okay.
Would everyone stop throwing grenades, please?
Extreme success again, baby.
Extreme success. Okay, hell yeah.
Extreme success.
That's 2 extreme successes. This is good.
Hard success.
Oh, Juno's
yeah.
hard.
Juno's so hard.
Given
you guys are out of control. And that's me saying that.
How do you like it?
It's honestly pretty great. I'm gonna be honest with you.
This is a finale way to get to go fucking wild.
Go fucking wild. You guys, there's 2 extreme successes and a hard success. I'm going to say they managed to get the doctor out of the way. I don't know if anyone would really have specifically tried to do that, but I'm going to say for the sake of
Okay. No. What accidentally happens is so his vac suit is punctured.
Yep.
And so all of the air from his vac suit just explosively goes out of the vac suit.
Right.
Leaving
So
him
like a
in.
balloon, I just fucking rip around the room.
No. Even somehow worse.
What are we talking about here?
Do you know those? You know those things where people choose to get like vacuum sealed inside of bags, and they really like it. you guys.
Once
know
again, this is
Catherine is
Catherine.
whiskey horny. Like,
Catherine, what
This
are we
is also,
talking
there's
about?
no, I mean, Catherine and I have revealed before that our algorithms are fucked. And so, yes, Catherine, I do know what you're talking about, actually.
Brian knows. Brian knows.
That's
what
not a
happens to
good
him.
thing for you, by the way, that I know that.
No one needs to know.
You just shared with everyone.
This makes me think of that Alien movie.
Just stares.
Yeah, Leah, you're the weird one.
In any case, let's just suffice to say that Barron managed to like popped balloon out of the way of this grenade damage. Hell yeah. Comedy horror team. Comedy horror.
Heavy on the comedy.
Heavy on the comedy.
I hope people find this funny.
Oh,
I
dear.
hope you all love that we're idiots.
That being said, the Scotsman running along the wall, kind of like parallel to the floor, manages to like reorient himself. He's kind of breathing heavily. He's just like, there's 3 of them left. And you can hear gunfire. He's just like, if we're going, now's the time to go. And he turns around. Top of the turn order is Glade.
She looks at Juno. Stay. And she runs forward.
Ooh. Okay. As you run forward, you can see there are 3 of the Scotsman's men, 2 kind of on what would be the ground floor if the gravity was on. One kind of like has attached his mag boots to the ceiling, and they're all just like basically trying to make themselves as small as possible. Looking down, you can see 2 sources of fire. Go ahead and make, I'm gonna say, a firearms check. This is not to shoot your gun. This is the closest skill I can think of to have Glade read the sources of fire down this darkened hallway.
Fail.
A fail. You can't tell. I will say even on a failure, you can't tell exactly what it is, but it looks like there were 3 combatants that you knew had been up previously. It looks like there are 2 remaining. So in that initial flurry of gunfire, they took out one of them. Whether it was the Nedlet or one of the Reapers, you're not sure.
So Glade has had her shotgun out. She wants to take out her bullwhip
Hell yeah. Okay.
and try to wrap it around the leg of one of the Reapers to knock them on their butt.
So, Brian, famously great at describing physical spaces. You're not like right on top of them.
Okay.
I would say you're probably like, let's say,
Use my whip. For
I know
once.
you. I know. I want you to use your whip so badly. I would say you could rush ahead and do that, probably with the movement on your turn. You'd be rushing ahead of the Scotsman's, like his men's position, basically, in order to do that. I would say you could get within range to do that with your whip if you wanted to, but you would be very exposed.
Okay. No. Glade's gonna hit the deck, shoulder her shotgun, and fire at the closest target.
Hell yeah. Laying prone. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make your firearms check. Now, Glade didn't specifically load her shotgun with slugs, right? I think she's shooting buckshot at the moment. Okay,
Yeah.
great. No worries. Go ahead.
Sakes. Fail.
A fail.
Bad fucking rolls tonight.
So, as Glade hits the deck, just shoulders the shotgun, just like sends a round of like shot down the hallway.
Can I push it?
You could. However, if you fail, I'm gonna say the round fully like explodes in the chamber, and you will take damage, and it'll render your shotgun inoperable if you fail.
Okay.
Just because it's a push. Just because it's a
push
push. Okay.
That's just gonna
A success. Okay. Hell yeah. Go ahead and roll your damage. Now for this one, you will use, I believe it goes, 4d6, 2d6, 1d6, right, for your shotgun?
Yeah.
Okay. At this range, highs or lows?
Lows.
Hell yeah, you can go 2d6.
Woo.
9.
9 points of damage. Okay, pick 1 or 2.
1.
1, okay. You take your shot, and then you see a kind of wash of sparks as some of your pellets hit a Nedlet.
Yeah.
Great. That will be your turn. The Nedlet is going to fire back.
Whoops.
You are prone, so it's going to get a penalty dice as usual. However, you can also choose to quote-unquote dive for cover, but that will lose you your next turn. If you dive for cover, it will get an additional penalty dice.
They get double penalty?
Yep.
I'm not going to die for cover.
Not going to dive for cover, okay?
What?
Yikes.
Yikes.
Oh.
First roll was a 16. Second roll with the penalty dice was a 26. So that's a hard success, not an extreme success.
And we have a supposed doctor, right?
You do. You might need it. You take 7 points of damage.
Goodbye, suit.
So yeah, that would first come off your vac suit and then off of your nanoweave.
Right. How much did nanoweave have again?
8.
Nanoweave is 8, yeah.
Is 8. Okay.
So your vac suit is punctured. You feel this like thud of impact as the second shot comes in. The Nedlet is going to take its second attack, but it's not going to shoot at you. It's going to shoot at one of the Scotsman's men. That is a success. It shoots at one of the Nedlet's men, and you can just hear this, not Nedlet's men, one of the Scotsman's men, and you can hear this like grunt, like
The Nedlet's bitch now.
Nedlet's bitch as the round strikes him, and you can just see him like kind of recoil back, and there's just this instinctive knowledge that that man's armor, such as it is breached. Great. That'll be Alastar.
Just because I have them. Stim pack in hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ram it into the thigh.
Gotcha.
What do I gain for bonus HP? Is it a D4?
1d6.
1d6.
Temporary.
3 temp HP.
Piotr just broke the seal on space meth.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Okay.
And
And
ramming his forehead through it.
I'm going to lean around the corner and put 3 shots into the Reaper.
Okay. Go ahead and... Yeah, I would say, we'll say at this point that the Nedlet is identified by Glade's shot. Go ahead and make your firearms checks. So you will, because of the meth, you get bonuses as well to your combat.
Okay.
It's just meth now.
It's just math.
It is what it
Space
is.
math.
Success on all 3 shots.
Hell yeah. Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
Shout out Space Math.
Shout out space meth indeed.
Y'all were missing out.
Also worth noting, the stim pack cannot grant more HP than your maximum.
I'm at my max.
Great.
I stopped at 15 just assuming it couldn't go above it.
Yeah, smart.
I did it so I could shoot more clearly.
That makes sense. That's the DM brain.
Yeah. 30 points of damage total.
All right, I gotta make a roll here. Okay, you step out and you can kind of see this other little bloom of gunfire, and there's this moment where everything slows down, your blood runs cold, but the bullets whiz past you, and you just kind of center your sights where that was. 3 pistol shots all seem to connect, and you hear this like in the modulated voice that emits from a Reaper suit, but you don't hear it hit the ground. Succeeded on his con check.
Oh, lucky.
Very, very, very lucky. Is going to shoot back. First shot at you, Alastar.
And I peeked around the corner. Would I have any sort of cover?
Because you peeked around to shoot.
Yeah, just
Totally. I would say because it's a Reaper, probably not.
probably not.
However, you could choose to dive for cover if you so chose.
And that would sacrifice my next turn.
Sacrifice your next turn.
Does the Reaper only have 1 shot? 1 attack?
You don't know.
Don't know.
Well, Brian.
We know his first
Actually,
shot is coming at me.
Glade, go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
Yeah,
At the
I can do
very
that.
least, he knows 4 shots coming out.
Fuck.
That's a fail.
Fail, never mind.
Yikes.
Jesus Christ!
Okay.
Once you kiss Juno, you can never go back to good rolls.
The dice curse is an STI.
It is totally an STD. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I will take full
When I
responsibility.
peeked around the corner to shoot, how many people were still standing?
Damn.
You didn't see. Sorry, actually, yeah, you'd put together. There's 2 enemy combatants at the end of the hall. It looks like 3 of the Scotsman's men are still up, and Glade is still up.
And
But
just
yeah.
the Scotsman. Do we have any J&Js left?
The J&Js have not entered the fight. as of
J&Js
yet.
have not entered the fight.
The one
Okay.
J&J.
There's
One J&J.
Intention.
Yeah. Intention, yeah, exactly.
Question for clarity. If I were to die for cover, would I be able to reload in that following turn? Or is it just completely gone?
You lose your turn. If you
Lose
die
your
for cover.
I can't do it.
Can't die for cover?
No, can't
Okay.
do it.
The Reaper is going to take his shot. His first shot. He's going to use his visual combat cortex.
Yeah.
Ew.
That is not quite an extreme success, but it is a success.
Okay.
At this point, if you had taken damage to your nanoweave armor, it probably would have regenerated.
Okay.
FYI. That's a good roll for you. That is 6 total damage.
Okay.
As a bullet kind of slams into you. It's going to take second attack. Also a success. Puts another round into one of the Scotsman's men. Was one of the ones who had his armor breached. And you can see
Toby?
it was Toby. Yeah, 100% now it was.
cool.
You can see Toby, Glade, you notice just kind of the shot like rips through his shoulder, and then his mag boots kind of holding him in place. He just kind of, you can see his eyes just roll back and he passes out as his guns just starts to drift above his head as he loses consciousness. That will be the Reaper's turn. That will bring us to Creed. Creed is going to also peek around the corner. He's going to shoot. That might be an extreme success. That is an extreme success.
Ooh, yeah, Creed.
Let's go.
Shooting at the Ned Led.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you can see him just kind of like peek around the corners. A shot leaves his rifle, and you can just see there's this explosion of sparks and like this kind of tinkling metal noise as nuts and bolts kind of start flying down. The Ned Led looks like it was severely damaged by his attack. That'll be Creed's turn, and that'll bring us to Barron, who is fucking speedy little boy.
So Baron spear tackles.
So his Katamari Damacy strategy, having been foiled, can he take a peek around the corner to assess who is in need of first aid, and specifically like who is combat ineffective right now but could be brought back to combat effective if they received a quick shot of a stim pack or other first aid?
Yeah, for sure. So if you peek around the corner, you would definitely see Toby. Like, it's kind of hard for you to tell. I would say you could use your turn to make a spot hidden check, but you can definitely see Toby is incapacitated. Whether or not you'd be able to bring him back, you can't quite tell from this distance. You would have to run up to him. The other 3 combatants you can see in the hallway, so 2 of Scotsman's men plus Glade, seem to be still fighting, and then Creed and Alastar still seem to be shooting.
Okay. And the Scotsman's men who already went down, are they vital signs absent?
So like what you can see of the rest of the fire team is just like smears of blood on the wall and the occasional limb floating around. It looks like you can see there are burn marks. It looks like there was an explosion.
No one else in the fire team is still alive?
No,
So
damn.
it's just the Scotsman?
it's the Scotsman and the 3 of his men.
Now
The
2,
original 8.
because Toby is.
Now 2 functional, yeah, but it's not been his turn yet.
Okay. The doctor is going to run for Toby and try to drag him away from the firefight.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check for me, please. Not a 0G check because you have mag boots.
That is an extreme success.
An extreme success.
Yeah.
You run up and you kind of grab the back of Toby's shoulders as their, bullets are kind of like whipping past you. And there's just this moment where you're just about to start like hauling. And then you remember your emergency services training. Your one foot kind of kicks forward and hits the emergency disengage on the back of Toby's mag boots. And they kind of disengage from the thing, and you manage to pull him back into cover.
Scheiß.
Amazing.
That will be your turn. That'll bring us to Juno.
Obviously, Juno shoots.
For sure. I don't think anyone's going to try to talk you out of it this time.
Nope.
Hell yeah.
Who is the closest and most probable target, please?
The Nedled and the Reaper are kind of equidistant targets for you. Like they're both kind of at the end of the hallway.
So if Juno goes for a burst fire of 3 rounds with her magnum, do each of them get a penalty?
Progressively worse penalty dice. So I think it's the first one. Is the first one a straight roll?
First one is a straight roll.
First one's a straight roll.
And then it's a penalty dice.
And
then according to the rules, you only ever roll 1 penalty dice, but I feel that doesn't make any sense, so you stack penalty dice after that.
Why would you say
not
that?
Always burst fire then.
You should always burst fire. Always.
Yeah,
But
statistically speaking, it kind of makes more sense. But I mean, it depends on your skill too.
exactly.
But yeah, so it'll be first shot will be a straight roll. Second shot will be with a penalty dice. Third shot with 2 penalty dice.
I'm a
Well-
DM at heart. I'm sorry. It's broken.
Unless you do space meth, and then you can.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Until death. Okay.
Past it if you're Piotr.
We burst fire.
Yeah, if you are willing to put meth directly into your brain, you can do all sorts of wonderful things.
First shot is going to Nedled.
Okay.
Nedled is feeling crappy? Good? How is Nedled feeling?
That's a fair question. Hard for you to tell.
Melancholy?
Because you didn't see the previous strikes, you are now just entering the combat. I wouldn't say that's not something that Juno would necessarily be able to assess.
Nedled has more or less firepower than Squishy Human.
That's not something Juno would know.
Okay, fine. Shot 1, 2 go to Nedled. Shot 3 go to Squishy Human.
Okay.
Shot 1 misses.
Miss. Okay. Penalty dice on this one.
Shot 2 misses.
Yep.
That's cocked.
That's cocked. It's cocked. It's cocked. We saw it. It's cocked.
We have to honor the cock.
Yeah. Always on.
As to...
That doesn't.
Don't let Glade hear you say that.
I gotta say, that doesn't really seem like Juno's style, if I'm being honest.
It is a Murph. It is a Murph call out from Dimension 20, and it is beloved.
Doesn't make any difference.
Juno just steps out and panic fires down the hallway.
I guarantee that I do not need another or a third
Penalty dice?
penalty dice for that one.
Gotcha.
Great.
None of those
Great.
rolls were a 99, I'm assuming.
No, but we were very close on 2 of them.
Great. Juno steps out and just blam, blam, blam. 3
Somebody
shots.
send me new dice, please. Or just like put them in the light of the moon, or like say sweet nothings to them, because God knows I need help.
Yoni dice.
I need some help.
Get this lady some Yoni dice.
I don't know what Yoni dice means, but help is good. Sure, if that's Yoni dice. That's
I also
good.
don't know what Yoni dice means. But in any case, you step out. 3 shots. Bang, bang, bang.
The track lighting is devastated.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't know how it's possible that I'm this bad.
All right. So the preacher behaves predictably in combat, as you would expect.
Get fucked. I do good sometimes.
You do good sometimes. Sometimes. Great.
For a preacher. And you know what? The emotional shitty ditch we dig makes the highs even higher, as somebody once told me.
Yeah, 100%.
I think
That
that's
was
what he
a
said.
straight Juno persuade roll on that speech.
Continue with the story. I'm done.
That's tough. It's tough to see.
The Scotsman is going to run forward.
All the while giving Glade a really like judgmental look of like, this is the woman? This is the woman you're choosing to protect?
He's going to use his visual combat cortex. Give himself a bonus dice.
Ooh.
He's going to shoot at the Nedled.
That's my guy.
Oh, yeah. Not quite an extreme success. Not quite an
But
extreme
something
success.
rolls good.
He kind of rushes forward. He's like kind of standing right there next to you, Glade. And then just gun goes off. The Nedled just kind of disintegrates
Oh.
as he has taken it out with his shotgun. Great. That will be his turn.
He has 1 attack?
I'm feeling inadequate.
He didn't use his adrenal override. Actually, he only got one attack, I think, in your fight as well, actually.
Well, I think you think wrong.
Well said.
Poetic.
A scholar!
And a poet.
One of the Scotsman's men shoots towards the Reaper and misses, unfortunately. The other one goes to shoot, and you just hear this, fuck! And you instinctively kind of look towards the ejection port on his gun, and it looks like there is a round, like, stovepiped, or a casing stovepiped in there. His gun has jammed. He rolled a 99, unfortunately.
Brutal.
Our J&J.
Where did the guns of the dead cronies, where have they floated to?
Many of them are destroyed, but they are some of them are floating around. J&J misses, and then Tenjin is going to basically step around the corner. He's going to produce a pistol and is going to shoot at the remaining Reaper. But unfortunately, as he steps around the corner, you see him just kind of sway a little bit. And even in like the dim light of like the flashlights that have been on and the gunfire, you can see a bit of blood like pouring down his face from his wound that he sustained in the car accident. His shot goes wild. That'll bring us back to the top of the round. It would have been Glade, or it would have been the Nedlet actually, but now the Nedlet is destroyed. So Glade.
Bang, bang.
You're gonna shoot at the Reaper?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and roll your firearms check.
Success.
Hell yeah, go ahead and roll your damage.
7.
7 points of damage. I rarely get to say this in this campaign. How do you want to do this?
Ooh, exciting shit.
Yes! With lots of guns going off, everything happening, Glade lifts up his shotgun and does a couple of rolls on the ground, reposition herself, and then locks in, shoulders the shotgun, aims for the Reaper's head, and just...
You can see him step out illuminated by gunfire, just kind of his rifle coming up to aim at you before your bullets smash through his helmet, and it doesn't quite blow out the back, but you just see this red mist where his head used to be held in place by the helmet as his mag boots kind of hold him to the ground. He's just standing there, dead, his arms kind of waving. Alrighty, we are out of Dex Order. The Scotsman is kind of breathing heavily. Sorry, who has the explosives? One of the remaining guys says, yeah, it's me, boss. I'll see if we can blow the fucking door. And as he rushes up to it, there is this flash of green light, and the door.
I ever needed you now, buddy.
And then the destroyed Nedlet, its mechanical eyes flicker, briefly green, and its voice says,
Glade, you came to help.
Glade shoulders her shotgun, stands up, and just walks towards Juno.
A party, we came to help. Please help us.
We will burn it all down.
and then
For lift.
for lift.
For Doug.
And you hear down the hallway behind this door that just opened, you see Doug emerge, and then floating behind him and just kind of past him over his shoulder through the door is a dead Reaper. And as it gets close to you and the lights kind of shine, you can see eyes. All of the white of them have been filled with blood, and there is just like blood leaking out of its eyes into its helmet, but there's no visible like wounds or damage to the armor, and Doug is just standing there looking at you. He says, yeah, for lift.
Doug. Piotr. He really fought more than I ever thought he could possibly fight. And he fought for you. He did it. He did it for you, and he did it for Lift, and none of this is fair.
We're well beyond fair, Juno.
It's time to get this done.
It's time to get it done. We'll get it done. And she, clutches Glade. Painfully clutches Glade.
Scotsman. Right. We made a deal, you and I. And he looks to the partially destroyed Nedlet. Says,
Yes.
Yes.
I will.
Destroy
the bones of Ymir.
In exchange for what?
Control.
Of?
The green light fades. Scotsman waves to his men, the two remaining who are standing, and they stride forward. Doug
Scotsman?
just nods at him. The Scotsman doesn't turn, keeps walking forward, kind of walks around Doug. His two men follow. Doug is staring at you. He says, well, you coming?
Glade stomps after the Scotsman.
Where, Doug?
We're gonna go finish this. There's a control room where they control the cybernetics that they use to control the angel. Party says if we can get him in there, he can take over the angel.
Just beyond those doors, yeah?
Just beyond these doors.
What's the cost to us?
He looks around the blood, the shell casings. Probably more of the same that's already been paid.
I'll nod. Walk past Doug and slowly reload my gun.
Juno, Dr. Von Verst.
I don't like it.
The doctor's paying no attention. He is tending to Tobias.
Okay. Go ahead and make a first aid check for me, please.
Success.
Okay. I would leave it up to you whether the doctor would immediately apply a stim pack to Tobias, or whether he would just try to, now that the firefight has obviously died down, whether he would just try to make sure Tobias is stable.
He's just stabilizing, and the doctor, he's going to check the wound that's corrupting as well. And in his opinion, this guy's in no fit state to return to any type of combat. So he's not trying to get him back up and going. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't die.
Absolutely. As you kind of secure him to the ground, using whatever you can, just in case gravity does turn back on. He's unconscious. You manage to stop the wound. He's not bleeding out further. In 0G, he's in quite a bit of danger from an open wound. Blood doesn't drain from wounds properly in 0G. However, short of surgery, there's not really a lot you can do, or getting him to gravity is kind of your only two options there. That being said, you go to inspect the wound on his stomach, and you can see the black lines have become far more pronounced, and they're spreading further.
Does anyone have an antiseptic? Perhaps some alcohol?
We used it. We've been fighting for so long. At least mine we've used.
Even after walking past Doug, would I hear the call from the doctor?
Yep.
Turn on my heel and walk towards the body. Does the type of blackness look like the type that spread across the paladin?
It does. And you can see it starting to take the shape, the veins starting to stand out and become more pronounced as they were in the paladin.
Is Toby conscious?
No, Toby is unconscious.
I'm gonna put 3 rounds in his head.
We just push the gun away.
Let's make either fighting brawl or dex from Barron, and then firearms from Alastar.
This is point blank, yeah?
It is point blank.
Hard success.
Hard success.
Rollies. Pick a denomination of dice. Whoever gets higher.
Your preferred denomination, sir!
Let's go for a Lutheran. No, D10.
D10?
Yeah. Oh, shit. 4.
5.
You see Alastar raise his pistol and you dive towards it, but there's this flash of light and sound. After the first round goes off, you do manage to push it aside, but the damage has been done. You look back. Toby's head is...
The doctor turns to Alastar and goes, "Is your lust for blood such that you could not let this man live?
Is your ignorance such that you can't let a man die in peace?"
No one has died in peace here today, and neither will you.
Point down at the previously unconscious body. He just dead. Your medicine couldn't have stopped what was happening from happening.
now, is that? All you know is your guns and your swords. If you all want to continue on and shed more blood today, you will do so without me.
Doctor.
And you. It's the only reason you haven't killed anyone today is because you are too inept to do so.
Damn.
You should all be ashamed of yourselves. And I will have no part in this piracy.
Doctor, I am ashamed.
Good. Good, you should be.
And you would be still sucking on candied nuts in a ridiculous child's clothing store if it wasn't for us.
My soul would be cleaner for it.
Oh, it would be. You came with us for self-preservation.
I came with you because you were wounded. And you needed care.
Well, I still need care. We all need care. And you also need care. And we have our differences, and
You are not the only people in this galaxy. He needed care. You have prevented me from applying it. You are nothing but incompetent children running around with your toys.
So what would you have us do?
Leave.
Well, our choice to leave is behind us.
And that is where I'm going.
Does the doctor walk away?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll begin reloading as he's walking away.
Mm-hmm.
You can wash your sins clean in your basin of inaction for as long as you like, Doctor. Eventually, you'll have to stop making excuses for your own ineptitude in the face of medicine you don't understand.
You're an ignorant mercenary, and I will not be lectured by you.
The doctor disappears down the hallway.
Juno goes to the body, pulls her fingers over the eyes to close them with the gun wound, small but pronounced in the middle of their head, and a missing skull in the back. I am sorry that you have met this end. I hope in my soul of souls that you rest easy, and I leave with you a piece of myself. Travel well, my friend.
You guys continue on.
Juno cuts out just a tiny bit of the black flesh.
Okay.
Watching.
Sure.
Faith,
Alastar.
don't get too close to that. And I'll walk away.
Okay.
So Glade had followed after the Scotsman immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, Scotsman!
Looks over his shoulder. Aye.
What control did you promise Party?
Party will get what is hopefully a permanent vessel to occupy the Angel. You've seen Party, I'm sure, travel through Nedleds, and occasionally people with cybernetics. The Angel has cybernetics in it. Party will inhabit those, and we will have an Angel for an ally.
How do you know what he's gonna, or what it's gonna do?
He stops, and he just kind of turns around, and he says, I don't. Glade. I don't know. Party could turn out to go mad and try to kill us all, but I don't know how to save this fucking station without him. And if you've got any ideas, I'd love to hear them, but right now, this is our only chance. And if you don't like it, and he points back down the hallway, he says the dockyard's that way.
Glade remains silent.
He just kind of nods, as if to say, okay. And then he...
You can't say that in a nod.
Yeah, it's literally illegal to say that in a nod. And then he just turns, continues walking down the hallway. So, we have the crew, such as it is for the Violet King Henry, heading towards the control room. And then we have the Dr. Barron von Wurst making his way back down the hallway. Let's go with Glade for now. You guys keep walking down this hallway, and then Tenjin comes up beside you. He looks at your armor, he says,
Looks like you had a close one.
No shit.
Are you hurt?
No.
Good. I don't think we're all gonna make it out of this.
Glade stops.
He stops with you. He just looks.
What is it you want to tell me?
I don't know if she will leave when she needs to leave. She's convinced that all of this is somehow her fault.
I won't let her die.
Good. You may need to sacrifice her love for you to get her out. Do you know what I mean?
Glade looks down, and her right hand holds her third mask in her pocket.
Tenjin cocks his head to the side. There's this moment of very pregnant silence. And then he just reaches out his hand and hovers it over your shoulder for just a moment, seeing how you react. If you flinch away, he will pull it back. But if you don't,
Glade does not flinch.
just lightly puts his hand on your shoulder.
You understand what must be done.
And he lets you go, and he continues walking down the hallway. Juno, you catch up to Glade.
Mm-hmm. He left. He left us. That strange fellow, he just walked away.
What?
He walked away, don't you understand?
Tenjin?
No, the Bjorn fellow. He...
Sometimes you just gotta take a swing, you know?
Yet a swing and a miss has never been such a swing and a hit either. Don't you think that if he's not going to be a part of this, he is able to leave?
Glade is severely clenching her right hand.
He is... I don't know what he has seen, but it seems to me that he has seen so little. Or maybe we are just blinded by what we have experienced.
Glade lets out a very large exhale and relaxes her hand and brings it up to Juno's face and looks at her.
Yes, Glade.
Keep walking.
He's right. I haven't been effective. I'm not effective. I am better when people listen, and nobody in a combat situation is going to listen to me. And
Glade pulls you in for a kiss.
Sanity, please.
Now you're not gonna get any.
Everybody gains 1 anthropology.
You know what? Yeah, everyone does gain one. No.
I'm putting it on my stats sheet. You said
Anthropology?
Yeah, okay, sure. Juno gains 1 anthropology. Glade, go ahead and roll a d6 for me, please.
Oh no, don't be a dick.
Don't be. Oh, I'm being a dick.
3. 2 anthropology.
Glade, you gain 3 sanity.
The kiss holds up.
And you teach her the secrets of your culture.
Oh shit, another hole through the paper. Too excited.
Yeah, but it's generic white North American culture. You learn it's like, sometimes we watch Survivor on Tuesdays.
Somehow a direct dig at Tom.
Too close to home.
So,
Yes.
you guys kiss.
Pulls her in for like a pretty firm, slightly aggressive kiss.
Mm-hmm.
As if to say, shut up.
It works.
Yep.
My.
We leave you for now. Barron, you make your way back down the hallway. You're traveling for quite some time, and then you arrive at the crossroads. Go ahead and make a listen check for me, please.
He's going to die.
Fucking spoilers, Catherine.
Alex, don't do this.
Yes.
Leah, don't.
That is
Come on.
a fail on the listen check.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
All he hears is himself eating nuts.
The crunching is too loud. He's like trying to offer nuts to the ghosts. The ghost.
The ghost of the man who had stood before you, whose hand you'd held, reappears before you.
Mein Freund.
And it just starts waving its hands, like making an X, waving its hands at you, and then disappears.
Well, that was certainly spooky ooky. The doctor's gonna proceed, but with caution. Like, he's creeping now. He's trying to, like, peek around the corner and that kind of stuff.
Okay. As you peek around the corner, you see a creature. Its leathery wings grabbing the sides of the hallway, creeping forward. As it takes an inhale through some manner of nostrils that you cannot see.
The doctor's going to go the other way.
So you're gonna try to head towards the dockyards or back towards GC admin?
So I'm in the hallway that leads into the...
You're at the intersection.
I'm at the intersection.
So you can either head back towards the Nexus Market, which is where this creature is coming from, or you can head towards the docks, which is in the opposite direction, or you can head back down the way you came, which is to GC admin.
He's going to go towards the docks.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me, please.
Oh, fuck. That's terrible. Fuck!
What?
Oh, no.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's a 26, not an 86. Okay.
Okay.
You need clearer dice.
I do, yeah. Okay, I'll spend 6 luck to make that a success.
Okay.
They're beautiful, but they're not easy to read.
You begin kind of creep around the corner. You can kind of hear this creature grabbing onto the metal of the hallway. And then seems to travel away from you. And you begin making your way towards the docks.
Whew, the few. Oh.
Already?
Travels away from him in what direction?
You definitely don't know.
Never it does.
We can infer what direction.
That will bring us back to the rest of us.
We have things to do. We can't kiss now.
You break off your kiss. Presumably you continue towards the control room. Creed is with you, Alastar. Mm-hmm. He just changes out the magazine, his rifle for a full one. He says, "Are you holding up?"
I'm fine. How about you?
This is all... Let's talk about it after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we're doing our part to get off this place. That's it.
Is that it for you? This is just about getting out of here.
What else is there, man? What do I have to give? What haven't I given to this fucking place?
Don't get me wrong, kid. Don't get me wrong. It feels bigger than us, you know? Like, I'm not saying you haven't done your part or whatever. I'm just... So often we were out there, we were hunting those Jesuit fucks. It just felt small, you know? Not unimportant, but small. And this feels... He just kind of gestures to the rest of Gate City, and this just feels... I've never been responsible for this many people. Do you know what I mean?
A little bit. Though I will say, I feel like you have been. Just didn't really see it that way before. Everything we've done from the start of this to where we are now has been for more than you and me. More for Corpsec, more than The whole 9 yards. This is one station. Yeah. So far, all our work is for one station. If we fail, we don't even do that. Because CorpSec's not coming through on their end of the bargain. So yeah, from the start it's been for more. But it was lies. And now we're doing it for something that matters. Something more important than even all these people here.
What's that?
Choice, man. Their choice, our choice. Freedom from the system that's trying to keep them down and turn them into hamburgers for the rich people closer to the sun.
Damn. I didn't realize you'd gone all socialist on me, kid.
Socialist, no, but maybe spent a bit too much time fighting people trying not to be a hamburger.
Yeah. There's a saying from old Earth. It's not left versus right, it's up versus down. I don't know if I agree with that, but fuck. Why am I getting philosophical before a fight? Kid, whatever it's worth. I'm glad I met you.
Likewise, old timer.
Alright.
Likewise.
Let's get this done.
Let's.
You make your way through the corridors. Finally, you kind of enter this, open room, and there's a doorway at the end, and it just says control on it. All of the walls are heavy steel, and this doorway is heavy reinforced steel, closed, and the Jesuit non-Jesuit, who's with Tenjin, steps forward into the room, turns to look back at you, and then a minigun drops from the ceiling and just cuts him in half. What are you guys doing?
Are we just in one long hallway, or is there...
One long hallway, yeah.
No way to find cover or anything, no corner to jump behind?
Not without running back.
So we're just in the fire of this minigun?
It is cut down one. You have a turn to react, to do something.
Juno screams and dives for cover.
Okay, go ahead and make your dodge check.
But in her scream, she yells, "Party!"
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yo, it's bad over here.
What's the roll?
It's bad.
91.
Holy fuck. Okay, well, it's not a critical fumble, but it's not
Stop
great.
rolling those dice.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what dice, it's me. I'm the
Catherine
problem.
is
You
cursed.
dive behind Glade in front of her.
100%. 100%.
Okay. So we're in a long hallway.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just a straight line for as far as we can see. There's a minigun at the end of the hallway in front of the doors. The minigun armored in any way, shape, or form?
Doesn't seem to be.
So it's just tubing and pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the range of it right now?
It's probably about maybe 16 feet in front of you.
So very close.
Relatively close, yeah.
And do we have one turn to make an action?
Correct.
16 feet.
Is that in range of my bullwhip?
Could be, if you moved.
How far can you move in a turn?
I will say Glade usually comes before Alastar in the turn order.
Yeah.
So you could rush forward with your whip, for sure.
All right, hear me out.
I'm listening.
Because, the minigun, it wouldn't be able to, aim straight down. Typically, they're kind of, out and kind of down, right? It wouldn't be, straight down.
Sure.
Okay. Glade wants to run up close enough to grab with one arm her bullwhip to latch around a part of the minigun and, pull herself and, do, a slide maneuver straight under it.
Hell yeah.
Whip out her shotgun and shoot straight up.
I don't know if you'd be able to do all that in one turn.
I lost them there. Okay.
Yeah. It was good up until the shotgun.
I don't know if you'd be able to do all that in one turn. Compromise.
Mm-hmm.
You could potentially use your bullwhip to try to grab the barrel of the minigun and pull it off to the side.
Oh. Can I do that while also maneuvering underneath it?
I'll allow it.
Yes.
So
Do you have a skill in fighting bullwhip specifically? Or I think we just said that you could use brawl for it, right?
Yeah, it was just brawl.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm into this.
Oh, God. Woo! That's a success.
Yep. What she said.
Good God.
I know what I'm about. Success.
Hell yeah. Success. Okay. You rush forward, basically like through the floating mist of blood and entrails that was Tenjin's associate. You kind of like burst through it, trailing the blood behind you. Your bullwhip lashing around the barrel of the minigun. You managed
I would use my body weight to like move it around.
Hell yeah. The bullwhip attaches to the minigun. You pull yourself in using that. You can see the barrel start to rotate, but as you like whip past the gun, your body weight just kind of pulls the barrel out of position, just starts firing into the wall. And then, just because that was awesome, and because Juno had called out, the entire hallway is bathed in green light. And all of a sudden, the minigun just stops. You hear a voice over an intercom. It says,
I cannot
breach this door.
So how do we?
I
cannot
see it.
And you look, and you see that while you can kind of like see some of the like reinforced like armored conduits for mechanical power or like electrical wires to kind of pass through in a way that's only noteworthy now that you're actually looking, the wall and the door that have that control written on them, there is no electrical wires. There's nothing running into that room. It looks like that room is like entirely self-contained. So the Scotsman comes up and he just kind of looks at the door and he's like, right, well, that's a pickle. Tom, you had your hand raised?
Yeah. Does that mean that the door is manual? Like it's got no electronics in it?
Correct.
So it's simply a matter of leverage then?
Could be.
Easy enough. Miniguns require hydraulic fluid, yeah? To cool down the barrels as it shoots?
This one specifically, yes.
I mean,
because I just want to see where you're going with this.
I'm tall enough. I'm going to cut the tube that allows it to rotate at its speeds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to douse the hinges of the door if there are any.
Sure.
I want to create an easier way for us to leverage it out of place.
Okay.
Because it's got to open either up and down.
You're lubing the door.
Yeah, or side to side.
That's so on brand for this fucking podcast.
It is incredibly, I was going to say, and we continue to be on brand.
If it's got no electronics, it's got to open into out or some sort of way, meaning it's on hinges.
Or up and down.
Or up and down. Even so, it's got to be on some sort of something that holds it in place. There's a mechanical way through this.
No, I follow you. Okay, all right. Yep, I follow your logic there. I would say either so you started to douse it in hydraulic fluid. Yeah. Either you or anyone else can make a mechanic check.
Not me.
Oh, who knows mechanics?
Whoever.
Who could it be?
Just like whoever. Whoever might happen to be a mechanic.
Maybe somebody who might know mechanics.
Okay, I'll roll. These rolls are bogus.
It's bad. We got bad juju today.
That's a failure.
Okay. As you are dousing the hinges, Glade, you come up to this and you're looking at the mechanisms, and unfortunately the door...
Can I push it?
You want to push the roll?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say this. The door is set kind of flush with the wall. So you're like, fuck, how do we manage to get any sort of leverage on the door to lift it off the hinges? And then you look at the mechanism and you realize you can just try to basically get a tool directly into the hinge and then potentially, shear the bolt completely off and manage to have it fall out, and then that will release the door and you can get in. However, if you try this and fail, it'll just wedge the bolt into the hinge, and then it's not coming out without a plasma torch. So you can push it.
That's
Toby. Was Toby the demolitions guy?
No.
Who was the demolitions guy?
Demolitions guy is with you guys.
Yeah.
Good.
And he didn't use them on the last door.
Excellent. That's a good thing.
So it's a failure, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a failure.
Why would you assume that?
In this episode, the gang meets a door.
Classic TTRPG enemy.
No. Are we just always sunny in Philadelphia, but always sunny on a space station?
You take roll the dice, and unfortunately, the bolt seizes in place. And then demolition guy steps forward and he says, "All right, we gotta give it a fucking shot."
Yeah, that's all we got left.
Can I make a listen check?
Is it to tell if he's a taxi driver?
Isn't Doug with us?
Doug is with you, yeah.
More of a brain-to-brain thing, I think.
Doug,
Yes.
honestly, tell me to go fuck myself. Because I have no idea what you can do, but can you sense anything beyond this door to help us open it?
Worth a shot, I suppose. He walks up to the door, puts his hand on it, takes a deep breath, lets it out. Melon. Yeah, and then what is it? Seal D that reflects moonlight? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He puts his hand on his door and then takes a deep breath, and then all of a sudden his shoulders kind of bunch up. You can see his face just turn into this like kind of rictus, like, and then he takes his hand off the door. You hear the door swings open.
Hot damn!
And you see a gate tech standing there, blood leaking from his eyes and his nose before he drops.
Fuck yeah, I knew it!
Finally, from the PA, before the lights, the green lights go out. The Scotsman walks in. Do you guys go in behind him?
Juno waits for Glade and makes a listen check.
Okay, make your listen check.
That's not bad.
I mean, it's not a fucking 90. We don't know if it's
heard.
That is a success.
Okay.
Woo!
Is there something specifically you're listening for?
I'm listening for that any critter following behind us.
You metagaming.
How would you know?
You would have no idea.
I'm listening for bullshit.
You
And
hear
that-
yourself talk.
I always listen to myself talk. It's a part of my self-care.
I'll tell you what. You succeed on your listen check. What Juno maybe expects to hear from this room, knowing that it is the control room for the Angel, is maybe the whir of computers and this kind of hum of powerful electronics. You don't hear that. You kind of peek into the room and there's just a single console there and windows facing into a kind of darkened room, very dimly lit. And then you can just see the water's shudder. Doug steps into the room. She's like, holy shit. There's something. I can feel it. Can I get everyone, with the exception of Barron, obviously, to make a listen check for me? Or not a listen check, sorry, a power check for me, please?
I didn't go in the room.
We're good.
Holy fuck!
We're not good. I repeat, we're not good.
Juno fails.
Fail.
We're so not
from
good.
Juno.
I got a 99.
God damn. Okay, super fail from Glade.
I'm so
Success.
I'm so sorry.
Unreal.
I'm so sorry.
Standard success.
A regular success
I blame
from
myself.
Alastar. Okay,
Arr.
Juno, you take a point of sanity damage.
Yeah, that's fair.
Glade, you take a
I
D3.
kissed you now. What?
Roll a D3 for me, please.
Oh boy.
Oh, now I roll higher. 2.
You take 2 points of sanity damage. And
boy.
everyone feels this kind of pulse, this pressure on your mind. As kind of, even if you haven't entered the room, you can see through the windows all of a sudden there's this kind of diffused, eerie green glow that seems to start emanating from the water. Barron, you make your way through the tunnels. You come out into the docks.
Oh boy.
And you can see, as you kind of like peek around the corner, you can see it looks like wrecks of ships and like balls of flame kind of expanding, maybe like holding their shaped globes of flame. And as you can feel like the air is like thin in here as these flames have kind of like started to eat all of the oxygen. There is a console in the wall beside you. And it just kind of blinks and then turns blue. Just...
Yeah? Hello?
I don't know who you are, but I think things are about to spiral out of control.
Yeah, I would agree with the statement.
My name, such as it is Major Ziggy, and I think I need your help.
Major, I think we can work together.
And that is where we will end tonight's episode. Thanks for making it this far. So ends episode 12. Only one more episode in season 2. This podcast is edited, mixed, and mastered by me, Brian Gashgarian. All the music in the podcast is composed by me. Special thanks, as always, to Alex, Leah, Tom, and Catherine for lending me their talent for this. You can find us on Insta, TikTok, and Twitch at The Stars Aren't Alright, or on Blue Sky at TSAA Pod. You can support us on Patreon at the link in our bio, and chat with us on Discord using that very same link. But as a reward for making it to the end, I would like to remind you that the electric eel can produce electric shocks to stun prey and deter predators. Most of all, thanks to you for listening, and we'll see you next time. We might need another episode, guys.